One of the core challenges for leaders is to guide their communities through change. We know change is necessary, but we also know it's hard and often fails. It's tempting as a leader to think that the primary way to influence people to change is to get them to think differently, to have better ideas about how to be church, for instance. While a more adequate and compelling vision is not unimportant, a lot of change efforts fail because the work doesn't get to the deeper level of behavior, how people actually live and embody their life in community. If you want to help a community change, it's best to get them to behave their way into new ways of thinking and believing, rather than think their way into new ways of behaving. Now, behavior is hard to change because it requires a new learning. We all naturally resist the discomfort of doing things in new ways. We have to face the learning anxiety and uncertainty of not being competent. We might fear the shame that can come with doing something wrong. When the new behavior involves a difficult challenge or a real stretch, then we're naturally even more likely to hunker down and resist. For instance, say a church is trying to learn how to form community with people in its context across cultural, generational, or social lines, or to share its faith with neighbors in language that they can understand. These are hard things. The most effective way to address this is for leaders to make it relatively easy for people to do the hard work by breaking it down into simple, accessible, actionable practices. For instance, if congregations aren't comfortable talking about their own spiritual experiences, get them doing a practice of spiritual storytelling. Very simple. Give them an open-ended prompt like, share a story of a time when you felt spiritually alive, energized, or engaged, and put them in pairs to share for about 10 or 15 minutes. Then come back and debrief it together. Or if you're trying to get them to connect more with their neighborhood, send them out in pairs on a simple prayer walk with concrete instructions and a defined time window like 30 or 40 minutes. Ask them to pay spiritual attention to specific things, like where they see life-giving connections or energy, or where they see struggle or suffering. Then have them come back and debrief in small groups and as a large group. Having people share in pairs reduces the risk. A lot of people of goodwill in congregations who are relatively open to trying new ways of being church get stuck because they don't know how to go about it. The work of leaders is to get them unstuck by giving them concrete, simple, actionable steps. This means breaking things down so that what might seem like a huge challenge becomes a series of incremental, lived actions and experiences. Through this, learning takes place, people discover new energy and vitality, and change begins to be rooted at the level of behavior and culture. In my new book, Leading Faithful Innovation, which I co-authored with my Luther Seminary colleagues Michael Binder and Tessa Pinkstaff, we offer a process for congregations to connect more deeply with God, each other, and their neighbors, using this very approach with a lot of examples and stories. Leading change involves making it easy for people to do hard things.